EXP Team Home Hero backend. Hold on, because I'm going to go through this super fast. But before we get into all that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share, depending on what you're looking at, how you're looking at this. But basically, I'm just going to open up the door and just show you literally everything on the back end and explain what we're doing. Just because I'm more of a shower than a teller. But obviously, I'll explain it all too. So here's my screen. I'm going to show you our backend systems, EXP's backend systems, so you get a feel for like what all that looks like, and really just give you a peek behind everything and literally everything we're doing. So first screen I start off with is obviously my email. Like I have my personal email I work out of, and my business email. You can get an idea of like, here's one that we have closing on Thursday, the EXP Sky Slope checklist. Here's all the different checklists we got to go through. Different things we got to turn in before our closing on Thursday. So that gives you an idea of that. I have Monica, my transaction coordinator, working that. Same with my admin, Ryan. So a lot of what we work at is professional emails. You get one of these Team Home Hero professional emails, plus you'd have your own personal one for things to work out too. Just depends on how much you can manage. We track all our appointments every month. Pretty simple Google spreadsheet we'll all collaborate on. We set our goals for the month. Like August, our goal was 60 set, 40 held, 80% held rate, and 12 new under contract by in August. We ended up getting to 14. We had our 80% held rate. We were 41 set, 33 held, so we're kind of low on our total amount of appointments, but it's a really efficient process. Because let's see, what is that? What's 14 divided by 33? Figure up our closing percentage. 14 divided by 33. We close about 42%. Pretty darn good. And it gives you an idea of, you know, the client's name, what their situation is, where they came from, what type of appointment, and then who is assigned to. You know, then everybody manages their own individual pipelines too for appointments and whatnot as well. So you can see we have a very organized system. It doesn't have to be super complicated, crazy, just has to be done on everything. Gives you an idea of our appointment system and how we track all of that. Pretty manual. We keep it pretty manual. That way you're diligently focusing on knowing where your business is coming from, what's going on, who you need to follow up with, all those kinds of things. So that's our appointment spreadsheet where we track it every month. Like that was August. And then like July, we had 11 under contract. The goal was 15, so fell short on that one. 40 set, 29 held, 72%. So definitely some room for improvement there. We just got our ISAs going, really going this month. I've had a few others tried to get it going, but I'll get into the ISA department here in a little bit. But this gives you an idea of our appointment set and how we track them and look at our closings to go with all those. But then we also use CTE to track our business on a high level. You can see we closed 48. We have 16 pending currently. Gives you an idea of everything from the whole year. And then you fill out in here, whether it's a listing or a buyer, address, client name, all the close dates and all this. And this is where the agent and the admin help organize all this. This isn't so much the transaction coordinator doing this. This is more back end management and projections and tracking on everything, just to give you an idea of like where things are at. So my 4 agents are currently with me. I think they started around March, April timeframe. And then now July, August, September, they're really starting to produce. So you can kind of see the ramp up period from March and April, because before all this was just kind of me. And then the rest of this was as the team got going and got up to speed on everything and really got to swinging on things. You can see where bringing in the additional people and marketing systems, ISA, is really starting to take off. But this is our CTE backend. Is what we use to track all of our closed pending deals, active buyers, listings, that kind of thing. The active buyers and listings thing isn't entirely accurate because we got more coming up, but it's more so we use as just kind of a transaction log, to be honest with you. This is the, I guess you can call it a recruiting platform. It's my HR platform called WiseHire, where we get a good amount of candidates for ISAs, real estate showing assistants, licensed transaction coordinator, just depending on what I'm hiring for. It gives you an idea of like how many people want to show houses, but obviously you got to have a license to show a house and all that. But that's one of the systems I use. I haven't been too involved in it. I'm going to get more involved in it as I continue to grow the team out. I'm kind of torn right now between being an agent and being a team lead because they're 2 separate roles, 2 separate responsibilities, but got to do both in the time being. Now EXP, this is probably the one that like when I was first looking at joining EXP, had the most questions on. What's the back end of EXP look like? When you log into Enterprise, EXP Enterprise, it kind of looks like this, and then you have a login screen, and it just like it's logging me in automatically right now. But this gives you an idea of like the back end dashboard of EXP, what it looks like, what you work out mainly. SkySlope's kind of like Dot Loop. That's our compliance department where you turn in all your stuff, all your paperwork, which I'll show you in a sec. KV Core, if you want to use their website, you can. I use a different one called Chime, which I'll also show you that here in a sec. EXP World's the digital world that you can actually go in there, and that's where all your support services at. It's actually really cool. It's kind of like a Sims thing. ShareWorks, I'll get to in a sec, show you the stocks that have been both given to me, rewarded to me, and also what I have bought, where it's at. Actually, I haven't looked at that in a while, so I'm kind of excited to see where it's at. And then a bunch of other just cool things that the EXP's got going on. The main one that I usually look at is where's my dashboard at, track my sales, where's my volume at since I started, where's my cap rate at, when's my cap reset. So this is your back end dashboard that you check everything. And you click this thing to refresh it, see if it's changed. I don't think it has. Yeah, it's all the same since I last checked it. So that's where we're at so far for the year. So that's kind of how you track your back end dashboard there. SkySlope, this is what SkySlope looks like. So this is where you manage all your transactions, manage your listings. This is basically just where all the compliance documents come from. So to give you an idea, like this 2227 Linden is a house, one of the properties we have under contract. This is where everything is stored in, all the details of it all, transaction, contacts, commission, checklist, documents, log. So a lot of what you usually are looking at is the checklist and saying, okay, here's everything we need still. And then on the documents, if you ever need to access any of your documents, here's where you can go click on any of them and find them again. Like if you have questions on the executed contract, things like that. So you can go in there and manage all of your transactions you have going on here. So my transaction coordinator helps with this, help upload documents appropriately. My admin helps with this. I get involved with this. The agents get involved with this. So this is our master system we use for documents and compliance management, because once you submit it to SkySlope, that's submitting it to the brokerage. So that gives you an idea of like what the back end of SkySlope looks like and working with EXP and that kind of thing. So here's another one we have going on, 5109 Blackhawk, that we have closing Thursday. You can see where a lot of it's been completed, checked off on, approved, but then there's a few things we still need to turn in before Thursday. And some of the things we obviously can't turn in until it's, closed on Thursday. So that gives you an idea of what the back end of SkySlope looks like for EXP. And then we use DocuSign for a bunch of our documents. Like that's our e-signature platform that we use, just depending on what we're needing signed and completed by people for listing docs, amendments, whatever. Again, that's where Monica helps tremendously with paperwork to get in there, be the transaction coordinator and help fulfill a lot of those back and forth needs. This is what rev share looks like on the back end. It's not our main focus, but it is a focus of EXP. We do more than just recruit, we team build. And there is a revenue share incentive model for all this. Like it can give you an idea, like I've built my team with 5 agents. I have 4 currently selling, and this is about what the rev share is off the backside. So not a whole lot of money, but you can see how if you really took this seriously and built it out, it could be a pretty good revenue source of everything. But to me, it's not really the main thing. It's just an incentive. So that's my email, my tracking systems, EXP's backend. So next thing I want to get into, this will give you an idea of like my calendar, how organized we are, how scheduled we are with everything we're doing. I'm getting ready to go to Wyoming, but the business is still going to continue on. And as soon as I'm back, I know exactly what we're getting ready to do. We do a morning huddle at 8 a.m. and an afternoon huddle at 4 a.m., team meeting at 10:30 on Wednesdays. But then you can see where we got something outlined for every step of the day, every step of the way, to where we're always be doing something. And as you can see, I actually have a lot more free time than you might think. You might think, oh, dang, how do you have any time for anything? It's because I'm very organized with my time and my schedule and time blocking on all this. So that gives you an idea of my schedule. You know, you could go even again next month, next week. Like, this thing's not a guessing game. It's just follow a plan like this, and like you'll be successful. And you still have a lot of personal free time on stuff. So it's not like you're really that busy. So that's my schedule. Next one. So this is our ISA department. This is where our ISA communicates with everybody. It's called Campfire. Gives you an idea, like the morning report. She talks about how many appointments she set, how many people she talked to, who she called in. This is how they communicate with us through here. And then obviously we have their direct cell phone. And sometimes they tie into our morning and afternoon huddles, but that's our ISA department that we can scale up or down appropriately. This is our Chime backend. Gives you an idea how many leads we got in a month, what's our activity. So this is all of August we've done so far. We've had 379 leads come through so far. Gives you an idea of everybody's call connect rate, their email open rate, contact rate, response time, that sort of thing. So this is something that we look at, and then you can look at it on like a daily basis. So like today so far, excuse me, ISA has made 43 calls, set 1 appointment. This gives you an idea of where the agent's activity level's at, what they're doing. Yesterday, we had 20 new leads come in, 84 phone calls. We set 4 appointments yesterday. Give you an idea of the agent level of activity in here. So really you can scale this reporting section up and down just as you need to. This is why I use Chime, because it's one of the best systems for production. We get a lot of our leads through Google, through Bing, some through Realtor, don't do any Zillow.
It's 1 o'clock.
Some through direct website access, some through open house, but majority of it's Google and Bing. It's just learning how to convert them from a long-term campaign perspective. This is also our dashboard for like launching our listings, marketing our listings, just the overall system that we use here with this. And then this is our total lead database. We have 11,000 in there right now and continuing to grow that. Like right now we have 13 new leads we need to get to, 13 that have responded to some of our messages we need to get to, 130 we're still reaching out to, 85 we identified as hot that's going to buy between now and in the next 2 months. Same with warms. They're 2 months to 6 months, about 391 of those. So a good amount of activity there. Then obviously our appointments, we track off of that. And then this is what we use for our weekly team meetings, is this contract to close, or I'm sorry, cadence of accountability. We call it CAC for short. It's just what we get together and how we plan out our goals. How many houses do you want to sell? What kind of money do you want to make? That means you need to get with X amount of sellers, X amount of buyers, and then as a team level too, which means you need to go on X amount of list appointments, X amount of buyer appointments, and here's all the activity I'm going to do to make sure that those numbers get hit on everything. So that gives you an idea of like what we're doing on our weekly team meetings. Obviously, all that stuff gets optimized as you can continue to go. And last but definitely not least, our most important piece is all our marketing assets. Where does all this traffic and business come from? And it comes from, this is the back end of our website, wichitahomehero.com. So I guess I could pull that up and show that to you guys. wichitahomehero.com, if you're not familiar. It's a pretty good site for getting on there and explaining we're local Wichita experts, because we get a good amount of reloads with the ads we run, kind of explain how we operate, help guide people to what location they're looking in, that kind of thing. Get to know us a little bit, past client reviews, yada, yada. But honestly, most people come to our website looking at houses first. But then if they want to learn, like, how do I buy a home, there's a lot of educational resources on here with videos. And like, we actually use these for our buyer consults, is this right here, whether at the house or in person or you know, in the actual office. So it's a very intuitive website to use. And then if you wanted to look by like neighborhood, let's say you really want to live in Aberdeen, we have these organically ranked so that you can type in Aberdeen in search bar, and then everything in Aberdeen comes up this way, because there's a lot of people who look by neighborhood specifically. That gives you an idea of looking. But then we also have some Wichita local resources too. A lot of video, a lot of content to drive people to us. This little video right here, I think, has produced like 5 different buyers for us straight from YouTube organically. So that's definitely an asset you would get to leverage if you join the team. But that's the website. You can play around on there. There's a lot of different things on there. It's mobile optimized. But this is what we track mainly, is how many users does it get. So like yesterday we had 299, day before 258. And so like that's the last 7 days. Then over the last 28 days, we've had 4,700 viewers basically over the last month. Gives you an idea. There's 5 people on the website right now. Where the traffic's coming from, 123 direct, 146 paid search, 57 social, 17 organic search. So just gives you kind of an idea of where the traffic's coming from. I study the heck out of this because I'm a marketing nerd, and knowing where and what people are looking at. It's really fun to do all that. So that's our main site. Our main way we do it is we run traffic to our website and then we convert the leads. But then we also are building out our YouTube. So we have 189 subscribers currently, about 81 videos on there. A lot of different videos, not only for the client, but also for realtors, just to get the total inspection. Let's see. So videos, like if you go through there, there's a whole library of videos on everything. So just about everything you can think of, and I'm going to continue to find more things to talk about. Then also our email sending history. If you're getting an email on this is where you're getting it from. So this is where I send them out to everybody, and you track the open rate and the deliverability and all that. We also have our Facebook page, which we're not super huge on this Facebook page just because Facebook is okay for generating business. It's honestly not that great just because people don't go to Facebook to find houses. They go to Facebook to screw around, not to look for houses. They go to Google to look for houses, which is why we're bigger on Google and YouTube and those direct search places. But this gives you an idea of our page and all that. We're not super huge on Facebook in that regard, other than our Wichita Food and Booze group. That's pretty large. I figured you guys would like to see the back end of some of this because we're at 76,000 members now. And where did the growth thing go? This thing has had 34,000 posted and people have posted and commented 34,000 times over the last 28 days. And there's been 1.39 million views on this thing over the last 28 days, which is crazy. That's a lot. So that's why I can't see everything. And then engagement wise, there's been 2,769 posts in the last 28 days. So that's like 100 posts a day, which is wild. You can see the popular days, popular times, all that kind of thing. I honestly don't really generate that much business from this group as much as you might think I do. I don't really. It's honestly more of a community service project, giving back type of thing to help the restaurants stay in business. And we've actually seen some close. Like I think Noble House just had to close, unfortunately. But it's really helped out a lot of these small businesses to stay afloat, stay going. I know there's been some that have really blown up since this, they got this going on, but you're all probably pretty familiar with this group. If not, go join it. It's kind of fun to watch, kind of crazy what goes on in there, how some people handle some things. But I think overall it's a pretty good thing. And then we have KCM content. This is where we get a good amount of our national content, and then I translate it locally on everything. But yeah, so there's all our marketing systems that you see in there. Here's some of our lead systems, sales systems that we do to actually drive revenue. Schedule, like we talked about, EXP's back end, email, deliverability, the agent side of things. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully it's helped you learn a bit more what we're doing over here, how EXP works. You can always reach out to me directly, confidential, not going to be the drama game of everything. Because at the end of the day, the number one thing we're here to do is be very good at selling houses and serving our clients. I want that to be very clear that the reason we do all this is for that at the core. That's the core of all this, is providing an exceptional service experience to our clients above and beyond what anyone else can do. And, I feel like we really have a competitive niche and edge here with Team Home Hero and also EXP being a platform to support us in doing that. Appreciate you watching as always. Hopefully it's helped you learn a little bit more, and hopefully look forward to be talking to you soon. See ya.